Welcome back to Kinlaig on Farming Simulator 25 Highlands Fishing. It's episode 4 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, off the back of the last episode we established that this tanker was pointless. It wouldn't unload. I had to go and lease another one to get it to work, so we're going to sell it. We have no choice. I have gone through the brochures to have a look and see what other ones we've got available, and we have got a few that I can pick from. I'm just trying to decide whether or not I can convince Walter to take on a bank loan, because I do quite like the Bailey trailer, the Bailey Bowser. We've got some other ones we can try, maybe give a go. Again, I'm trying to maybe steer away from things we've used before, but yeah, that's going to go. I don't know. We'll have a think. I'm sure, yeah, I do. I like that. Bit pricey, but I'm sure we'll be fine. Anyway, I've got to get this equipment that we've got ready for doing the rest of our jobs. I've got the cultivating contract to do, and we've got some silage clamp to compact. So I don't know if you remember me saying at the during the last episode, it's been a little while because of the things, you know, things and stuff and things. This pays out 7,000 something, 7.5. I think it was 7.5. I can't remember. Anyway, something like that. But I haven't borrowed equipment. This is the equipment the farm has. It's going to take me a little while, but this is going to go towards paying for our engine upgrade on this JCB. I thought we had 150 horsepower. We only had 130. It's going to cost me 10 grand to go up from 130 to 39 to 50. We'll jump to 39, but we'll go to 50. And we should be golden. So yeah, I'm going to get this cultivating job done. We have got loads to do, as is always the case. I am heading off of our harvest field at the moment with our first full load of barley. Now, it's interesting how things change. It's been a few days. I went to that vintage tractor show up at Newark with the lovely Nina and her husband Brian. I put up some YouTube shorts while I was there. Yeah, I've had a lot of people messaging me about various different things. Massive shout out to Cartech, thank you, who's reminded me, haha, it's that thing, you know, with precision farming on, which we have on, that roller I bought, the grassland roller, doesn't work with precision farming on. So I thought, do I just try it anyway? I'm not saying he's lying, I'm not saying he's not telling me the truth, I'm not saying I don't trust him. I just don't know whether or not, just for my own sanity to test it. Don't know. The other is there's a bit of consternation around this. Now, I understand, I didn't know if there was a cover, there's not, is there? That obviously they're trying to go for realism, you know, and I understand that. And I think because we've had some barns, have we had some barns? I'm trying to think of silos that have done this. Not necessarily like this, but grain being stored like this, where you pile it up between the 2 sections or 3 sections or 4 sections, obviously you're not going to mix grains. That's not going to have barley, oats and wheat in it, because how do you separate them out in one place? So you'd put barley in one, wheat in another, and you'd have just multiple barns, I guess. A lot of farms, generally speaking, again this is a generalisation, don't run 10 different crops. Obviously in game we get the possibility and the option of running multiple crops over the course of the year, but a lot of farms don't. They'll run whatever crops they need for feeding their animals, if they're livestock, if they're arable. I mean, again, it's a generalisation. Some farms do 1 crop, some do 2, some maybe do 3, some maybe do more. But the problem with this silo is it's not operating like silos do that we kind of have all got used to. And again, like I say, it's more about what we're used to, not what's real or not. And this will only hold 2 things. So when you put it in, it will fill this one up and then it'll fill that one up. So we've got our wheat and our barley field, we'll be able to do both of those. But any other crops after that we're going to need another silo. So again, whilst I get the sort of the realism aspect of it, as far as the game goes, it's a tricky proposition because it's I don't know, how do you... And what should happen is, as this is going in, one side of this will be filling up. There you go. Because what you normally find with these types of silos that we've had in the past, you don't have a fill in and a take out. You literally just drive in and pile it in, which I guess from that respect makes it easier, because if you were going to pile up loads of stuff in here to get it back out again, you would need a conveyor belt, you know, a forage pickup header, you'd need buckets, telehandlers, wheel loaders, whatever. So from that, I don't know, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I suppose it's just because it's a little bit different to what we're used to, I suppose. So I've got some other things we need to work out then. What do I do about the roller? I have released a windrower, because you'll see when we get back to the field, because we've got a small header, our windrows of our straw are very close together, so windrowing will make life a lot easier. We've got all that grass work to do. I've got tons to do. I feel like I've been away forever, which is crazy, because the thing as well in my head, because I've been away and it was still kind of farming related. I was at a farm show and there were tractors and machinery and equipment, and I did some, you know, I did some YouTube shorts rather than live stream and that kind of thing. So we got some content done. So it was kind of, I'm still doing my job. Does that make sense? I know I was away, but I was still doing my job. But got to spend a bit of time with friends and have a great old time, which is kind of what you want. But I just feel like I've been away from this for ages. Anyway, this field's not far off being done. And then what we'll do, we'll move the harvester, because I've got this one on a worker, and I'm currently doing the cultivating contract. The cultivating contract, which is going to pay the big chunk towards our upgrade of our engine to 150 horsepower on the JCB. Yeah, anyway, we've got loads to do, so I'll crack on. Still loving this. Loving this. We are heading back to the farm. The cultivating contract is complete, and I've now got, well, like I say, a big chunk of money towards doing our engine upgrade. The parts have been delivered to the farm. We're going to do them at our little workshop. This field here is complete of barley. That's in. Wheat field across the way. Worker is going. Whoop. Somewhere. The worker was going. Anyway, let's head back up. It's obviously down the dip over there, I think. Let's do this. And then what I'm going to do, once we've upgraded our horsepowers on here, I'm going to go down to the store. We're going to grab the windrower that I've leased, and I'm going to start windrowing all that. And yeah, like I say, the roller, I don't know what to do, because the roller I won't be able to, I say be able to use, I won't need to use until just it's in here. I could have gone the other way, but that would only work if I'm an owl. I think we're in all right, aren't we? Yeah, I think we're right. Let's pop that down. It's funny, actually, over the weekend I was talking to Nina and she likes to wind me up, and she was saying about the shorter videos and how were the shorter videos going, and I said, well, you know, I'll be honest, I haven't managed to do a shorter video yet, because when I'm doing stuff, I like to talk about what I'm doing and just talk about stuff, and I like to show all the bits in between. And the shorter videos either mean that you don't get to see, right, that goes up to 139, then 150, that's an extra 10 grand. We just earned 7. I could have sworn when I took on that contract it's 7,500, and we didn't borrow a cultivator, but it only paid out 7.1, which I don't know why. Maybe it was always paying out 7.1. I'll have to go back into the footage and check. So let's customize that. We are now on 150 of the horse powers. Awesome stuff. So this should have a bit more grunt to it. Like I say, I'm going to whiz down, and I have a good point actually. Do I need to get? I said about do I need to get a bale spike? Probably. I was wondering, so I've got the square baler that we bought, that we've got, or wherever I put that. I'll give that some thought. I can probably pick them up with pallet forks, but we'll see. Right, I will see you later on. Oh, there you go. You can see the harvester now. We'll go down that way. It's coming up the field. It decided, well actually no it didn't, because I drove into the field and I just hired a worker. It went one way round the field, then changed its mind and it went the other way round the field. I don't know why it did that, but it's doing alright. There might be a few bits and bobs I've got to mop up here and there, because it seems to be, that field was a little bit more straightforward with regards to its angles. That one, not so much. Okay. I think what will happen during the course of this episode, because I've got a lot of stuff to do kind of off camera, we've got a lot of windrowing, we've got a lot of baling, we've got a lot of grass work and field work and stuff to do. There's going to be a few clips, I guess, of potentially me not talking, which for some of you think, oh, at last! Is that all it's taken? So anyway, yeah, this windrower's leased, and I'm thinking we're probably going to need to buy one at some point. But again, we're a year in, and we're over a year in now to FS25's release, and despite the fact I've done a lot of mod reviews and with a lot of mod days with a lot of mods, you go through a lot of the sections and there's a lot of things missing. And I say missing, a lot of stuff you remember you go through FS22, we're in the 3rd year of FS22, and you've got all the mods, all the stuff, and there's a load of modders that have never really reappeared on FS25. We've got a lot of equipment and machinery that hasn't come over. A lot of the cheaper windrowers, and we've got some Tedders, but there's a lot of equipment that I was kind of a fallback. I used to think, we can grab that, especially when you're starting out, you can pick up some fairly good equipment fairly cheaply, and a lot of that stuff's missing. But that's fine, we'll just do some work, we'll do some contracts, wherever it needs to be. I think this only cost 19 grand, I think, 19.5, something like that. So we can always pick one up. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll lease for the time being, and then we'll see how we get on with it. Okay, wheat field complete. Windrowing all complete of all the straw on the fields. I'm keeping all the windrow for the time being. It'll cost me a little bit overnight for an extra day, but not as much as re-leasing. I think it only cost 600, I think it was, to lease it in the first place. So I think it's a base game one. I didn't go for anything crazy in the end, because we've got all our grass work to do. I think what I'm going to probably do is grab the mower and the forage wagon, go around the edges of the fields, pick up some more grass, and that will go into the silage clamp. But I'm going to get the baling done. I've set this to the largest bale size possible, simply because it will make life a little bit easier, really. Just thinking, I'm not going to. We can still use straw. That doesn't need them, does it? It's the cows, but the cows don't either. When did I make a straw bale? Anyway, the silo over here. Sorry, I'm miles away. We've ended up with just over 30,000 litres of barley and 40,000 litres of wheat. Yeah, 30,724 of barley this side, and then this side we've got 41,217 of our wheat. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I know what I was saying earlier. The building's phenomenal. I mean, like I say, and in the real world, yeah, that's the situation, isn't it? I might have a look at. We've got some silos. I'm just wondering whether or not, you know, we got the ones that have got a pipe. And it's sort of almost like freestanding, and you can attach it to a building or wherever it wants. So you can turn anything into a silo. I'm thinking maybe if we just placed a standard shed or something, or the fact this has got this sort of smaller silo here. I guess this is a dryer system. This is decorative as far as I recall. You can place these. Maybe put a separate one on the front of here. Attach it to that if possible. So we've got to put in and a take out. So we've got a silo for other crop types. I don't know. I'll have a look. There's going to be something, I would say, knocking around that's going to fit to the aesthetic. At least I hope there's going to be something that fits the aesthetic. Now we are horse-powered up the wazoo. Well, as far as it goes, anyway. Let's get that turned on. Oh. Let's unfold first. The detail of the wear and the muck and stuff on that is incredible. Oh, thinking, how have I still got a bale in there? I did the baling contract, didn't I? It doesn't make any sense. I haven't done any bales. Yes, I did, didn't I? So I've set these as big as possible. The fewer bales we've got, the better, with maximum capacity. Because obviously we're going to be doing hay bales as well. The grass is going to be turned into silage, so that can be loose. So we've got all this grass all around the fields as well. So we'll have a load more grass in there that's going to need to be compacted. I don't know if the pickup on this isn't particularly wide. I'm probably going to miss bits, and if I miss any bits I'm going to have to come back and grab them. That's, again, not really the end of the world. Now again, with the baling of this, if I go onto this here and go to steering assist, because it's left on what the... I mean, it's a difficult one because I didn't follow them all exactly. That's where it's going to be a bit of a problem. I was going to say, if you set it to whatever your header width was, if it's not already set to the header width, it will stay pretty much where the swaths went. I think I'm just going to go with, you know, doing it normally, whatever normal is. If we miss the odd bits here and there, unless I kind of come to the end and I'm almost there at a full bale, in which case I can go out and we can, you know, find some bits. And then we've got to look at what we're going to do precision farming wise, because obviously our 3 fields have now been harvested. Once the bales are off the 3 fields, and then if we do our grass field as well, that's our 4th field, we've got all of our soil sampling to do. We've got whatever we're going to put on it. Are we liming? If we are we buying it? This stuff to the side, if you missed the other episodes, this was from the baling contract, just to prove the point that depending on what equipment and machinery you're using, you can remove the straw rather than just bale it and lose it. Only did enough to fill 1 tray load, and then what I did was just dumped it out on the field, so we can pick that up now. And that should end up doing 2 bales, I think it worked out at 9,000. That was right, wasn't it? It was something along those lines anyway. So as you can see, we are just picking up what we left on the floor. And I'll get the baling done. So we'll have a ton of straw bales, because the wheat field is a little bit bigger. So we've got a ton of straw. If we end up selling some of it, fine. If we get any productions, I'm trying to think if there's anything in the mod hub that requires like just straw. I think there's some fertilizer ones. Was it fertilizer? I'm trying to think. There are so many now. It's remembering all the recipes for everything, you know. It's just maybe finding a production that just requires straw for something, and then you can utilise all your straw, which I've always sort of referred to as a surplus. If I'm doing wheat, barley, oats, you know, or any crop type that's going to give you straw. Some maps you can get straw from soybean and stuff like that. And it is kind of, it's an additional. I've done my harvest, I've got the crop off. I don't have to do straw swaths if I don't want to, but if you've got it and you're not running animals, what are you using it for? So sometimes it is just an extra. I always pad my total mix ration recipes out with it. You don't need to. A lot of people don't bother. But I do, because it makes your silage and your hay go a lot further. It makes your total mix ration go further. And I say, as a byproduct of doing any of these harvests, it makes sense to have it. But anyway, yeah, we can have a load. Good thing is, we're doing big old bales. We shouldn't have as many. I mean, that kind of. Again, of course, the smaller the bales, the more you're going to have. The bigger the bales, the less you're going to have. Thank God you're here, MrSealyp. We would never have worked that out for ourselves. Now we're on to mowage, people. So, I've got my front mower, got my forage wagon again. We have got our silage additive in that. What I'm going to be doing now is what I said earlier, if I mentioned it earlier, or the last episode. I'm going to go around the edges of the field. Well, actually, to be fair, anywhere I've got grass. Well, not anywhere, because some of the grass we're going to turn to hay. But using this, we're going to top up our silage clamp. Because at the moment we've got 180,000 litres, maybe 200,000 litres. I want it up closer to 300 if I can. I don't know how much it will take to fill it, and by no means have we filled it. I haven't gone right to the top with the silage clamp. We've just kind of been, I've just been putting load in after load, and then what we'll do, we'll use that compactor, compact it down, get that covered, and that'll be our silage element of our total mixed ration done. Sorry, I was daydreaming there. I was just thinking about the bales. Best way of doing that, about collecting them. We'll think of something anyway. So yeah, I don't know how many loads I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut the grass, and then we'll see what we've got. It's September 1, and we need to carry on. It's a baling bonanza. I've got to decide where I'm going to put everything, though. I'm not quite sure where it's all going to go. Water's been busy this morning because we're into September, so we're kind of, it's that time of year. We've got some Halloween-y type stuff going on up there as well. How did he get up there? You be careful. You fall off there, you're going to hurt yourself. Anyway, we need to check on the animals. We'll go and check on the, they should be alright, the Highlands. So, that got put in. I finished doing the mowing I was doing, did the compacting, did the blanketing. We've got about 303,000, says there, top left, 303,253 litres in there. My bales, it worked out, straw bales, we've got 36 at 9,000 litres. I've already got weeds growing in here, lovely. Blech. Grass already growing back, which is nuts. Which works out 333,000 litres. So I think we're going to be aiming for about 300,000 litres of each. So what I did was cut all the grass around this field, all the grass around that field, and I cut a load of the grass on here. It's hard to see actually. It's almost... That's nuts. Maybe you can see in the middle bit. Well, actually, it's not far off. Anyway, I did cut a load of grass. So that's how we got up to that. Let's check on the sheep. The wet texture and everything on it is brilliant. The rocks. I'm living the dream, people. Living the dream. I'm having a great old time. Loving every second of it. Did that get cleaned properly in the rain? I probably should have put it away. Now we're looking here. I've had a lot of people telling me 43 litres. We were on 41. Yeah, people were saying that they've had a situation where the sheep pen here doesn't seem to be working properly, and they get to half a bale here of wool, and then nothing else happens. So I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, I've got more mowing to do. We're going to be mowing, then we're going to be tedding, then we're going to be windrowing, and then we're going to be baling our grass field to make hay. Then we will have our straw, our silage is on the go, and we'll have our hay. What I've got to work out is, I'm thinking actually, let's have a look and see what's available under our used vehicles. Pretty much the same stuff that was here yesterday. Was that there yesterday? Can't remember. Anyway, what I was thinking of doing was, if we go to our front loader tools, because we have a front loader, get one of those. Just lease it maybe, and then what we'll do is we can pick our bales up, maybe put them in sets of 4 on the floor. If I go around and grab them a bit at a time, and then we can stack them up. Maybe load onto... we don't have a flatbed, do we? Thinking whether or not to... let's raise that. No, raise it up. Whether to load onto the back of the transit, or just to bring them over here in 4s, because we've got that field there and the other field. It's not like we've got far to go. We could use an auto stack. There's a whole load of things we could use, but so we're coming up here. It's my first time looking up here at our grass field. Thankfully the rain stopped. I don't know if I cut too much of the other stuff. I'm now wondering whether or not we are going to get 300,000 litres off this. This is the right field, isn't it? Yeah. Maybe not. It's not a bigger field as it looked initially. Let's do that. Let's get the lights on. We'll do the whole lot. Turn that on. Drop that down. That's not good. There we go. Once I get to the field, I'll probably put the GPS on. Now, obviously, when we come back along and we do the tedding's going to spread it all over the place. Now, we have got some... Oh, actually, no. I've just realised what I could have done. What I could have done and should have done. We've got some tedding that came out recently, the other day. I bought a tedder, didn't I? But there are some, like, tedding hay bobs that came out the other day. And that'd be perfect for this, because I could run this. And whilst this is putting into a swath, the hay bob bit would spread it out pretty much to where it is now, and I could run that all at the same time. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go down to the store. We might take our other tedder back. That way I can do it all in one go. I haven't got a triple mower set up at the moment. I've just got this. Actually, just lower that. Do that. Let's see if we can swap out our tedder for a hay bob tedder. Right, we're down at the store. Now, we did get this discounted. That's why I bought it, because it was cheaper than it should have been. But we don't need this. I don't know if I'm going to kick myself for this. It doesn't matter. It's a little bit damaged. We need to be... Where's the... There we go. So, 10,208 they're going to give us for it. That's cool. So, if we sell that... I mean, we could... Should we repair it for 171? Will it go up by 171? Oh, let's do it. Yeah, I mean, roughly. So, right, let's sell that. I've already bought the other one. The other one cost me £1,000. So, we're kind of £9,000 up on the deal. Hopefully, this will work then. So, the mower on the front, which is kind of windrowing. This on the back, we can do it all in one pass. What's happened here? Carnage is what's happened. Absolute carnage. It's slightly off to the side. I don't think we can adjust that. I'm assuming we'll be alright. Right, let's go back up to the field, try this, then it'll just be a case of windrowing and baling. And then what I want to do before we finish, actually while we're here, I think we can lease the bale grab. Should have brought the front loader down on here, shouldn't I? It didn't dawn on me to do that. We want to go and lease... Do I want that? There's not an upright one for front loaders, is there? No. Yeah, I'm going to use that. I want to give it a go. I haven't used one of those for ages, so you know what? That's what we're going to do. Lease that, 318. Absolutely, why not? I have some things next on the agenda. I've been talking to Walter about diversifying the farm. I mean, yes, we are going to do contracts. We are going to have to do some contract work to pay the bills and stuff like that. But I don't want that to be the main focus. Because, and again, I've said this right from the outset. It's difficult when you're doing a kind of start from scratch. There's so much stuff on here that I want to do, and if I do start from scratch, I'll never get to it all. You know, there's builds to do. There's the fisheries stuff to do. You know, there's onion stuff to do. I mean, if we pick up some onion harvesting contracts, if those come up, that might not be a bad idea. That way we'll get to do some. But I wanted to have a go with the bagging unit and that kind of stuff. But without starting with $1 million and just buying all that stuff and just getting on with it, it's a tricky one, isn't it, to gauge how the best way of doing it. But anyway. The cows are okay. I do have a slight problem because normally what happens is you move into the next month and the meadow grass then becomes available. The meadow grass is not showing for the cows. So we went from August into September 1. And I'm hoping September 2 it will, because we're almost out of hay that I put. Mind you, we are going to do some more. I did bring some hay bales down, but the meadow grass isn't showing. It's still showing 0, although they are chowing down on it. So I don't know. Just ain't dawned on me as well. I'm going to get that Bale grab, but there's also the SleutjesModding, the stacker, the Bale stacker. That might not be a bad idea. Well, that'd be a little bit more expensive than that, won't it? There's me saying I'll set up there in a minute, and here we are. I'm back up here already. I'll go back over. If this does work, I'll go back over what we've already done. Hoping this isn't set too far to the side. It should catch it, because it looks like it's putting it in the middle, so hopefully we'll be alright. Lights! Whoa, blimey, didn't stop there. Turn that on. Drop that down. Turn that on. Drop that down. Let's see how we get on. Is it spreading about the width of the... It's going a little bit wider. Actually, no, it's not too bad. It's going a little bit to the left, but that's alright, because we have a windrower. But it's keeping away from that side to a degree. Once we get onto the field there, it's going to be way more of it. We've still got other bits we can mow, so if we haven't got quite enough... I'm not sure how much we have. I'm going to try that roller. Like I said, I don't, because it's precision farming, it's not likely to work, but we can give it a go. Ah, there we go. This is working an absolute treat then. Cuts out one step at least. And again, people will say, why didn't you use this pack? Why don't you use that pack? You could have done it quicker. You could have done this setup, that set. Yeah, I know. There's loads of different ways of doing it. You know, with the ultimate mowing and baling pack that was on FS25, 22, you could run across the field in one pass and do it all in one pass. But that's not where we are at the moment on the farm. So we'll do the best we can with what we got. I rejoin you momentarily, having just had a conversation with Nina, who just messaged me, and it's the bizarrest of situations. I was only talking, what, it depends how I edit this together, a little while ago to you guys about the fact the meadow grass isn't growing for the cows, and the lovely Nina messaged me and said, have you watched Omatana's video? And I said, no, I haven't. Not yet. So if you don't watch Gamer Granny Tana's channel, if you haven't watched her video yet, apparently she's posted a video showing how to fix the problem. You need to mow the grass, but there's no gates to get into the pasture. So she made ramps. Whether you place ramps, make ramps, I'm thinking maybe getting a telehandler or a wheel loader with one of the sets of long forks and tension straps, pick up my tractor, mower, and maybe the forage wagon. Mind you, how am I going to unload that? Because apparently the grass needs cutting, and obviously then the grass is going to need to be collected somehow, otherwise it's going to stay on the ground the whole time, and then the next month it grows, the meadow grass, then they will eat the meadow, apparently. So yes, that's the answer. I will probably give that a go. I might do that off camera. Maybe I'll show a little snippet of it at the end or at the start of the next video. I'm not too sure. I've got enough to do already. I mean, there's tons to do. I've probably got the next 3, 4, 5 videos of stuff that needs doing, so we'll get there. Back on the windrower. Hey, this time, although I've got to be careful. I mean, it has got the guard on it to protect it, but the fence, oh, this is going to be an issue, isn't it? Because I've cut quite close to the fence. We're going to get caught up a lot on this, aren't we? It's just whether or not we've got enough enough oomph on the tractor. We should have now. We've upgraded it. Anyway, yeah, so more windrowing. We'll get this done. Then it'll be the baling, and you know, you get where we're going. You can see the method. Grass field turned hay is complete. I've got 22 bales. I was on 37, not 36 of straw. So we've got 22 bales, 8,000 litres, which takes me to 176,000. So we're lacking somewhat on hay, and usually you need a lot more. Now this episode is going to finish off very, very differently to how I thought it was going to. because I have a problem that I didn't know I had, and now I need to fix. And that's what I was talking about earlier about Omutana's video, and what Omutana's suggestion is for how to fix the problem. So what I've done is utilising things we had laying around the farm, log piles, some timber, lumber. I've made myself a bridge, which I think when Nina messaged, she said she used ramps. There's all sorts of stuff in the mod hub that you could probably use to do this. There's no gate in this fence, and unlike a lot of other animal pastures and stuff that have fences, if you go into build mode and go to enter demolition mode, you can't remove any sections. I thought if I just remove a couple of sections and then just put in a gate, but you can't remove it at all. So I grabbed a couple of log piles, say a couple, 4. These were 50 each, so that's 200. These were 10 each. I think I've got 5 that side, 5 that side, maybe 6 or 7. I've got a few. Anyway, because I was going to get a telehandler and forks and stuff like that. This is probably going to work out easier, maybe. I don't know if this is going to work with getting this over, but I need to get the mower and I need to get the tedder, and we need to get those over. There we go. And I'm going to mow that field. We're going to do the same thing, so by the time that's baled, we should have close to the number we need. I still have a load of grass up here I can cut if I need to. Bearing in mind we're going to need to feed the cows until the silage is complete and we can do our total mixed ration. The cows are going to need some feed. As we go into next month, now that probably won't be September 2, that might be October, so the cows are going to need some feed. So I will definitely need to give them at least one of the bales, which should get us through, I think. So yeah, that's what we're going to end up doing. Start our next episode, I think it's going to be then grabbing that bale grab and sorting them out. Like I said, I will try that roller, but before I do the rolling, we've got no data on our fields, so I'm going to have to do the soil sampling. So it's just as it always is, every single time, every single let's play, every single thing you do, it's a jigsaw puzzle. It's making sure you do the right things in the right order. Sometimes you don't get it right, sometimes you get the order. You get yourself in a muddle and it becomes a bit of a kerfuffle. If that's the case, fair enough. Now what I might need to do here is back over, because I think I've got more I think what they call fording height on the back than I have on the front. It might just be, it's not going to look pretty, but at the end of the day it gets the job done. I don't know how much of what I've done already is going to be edited. I know this is going to seem wrong and you shouldn't be doing it because I've got cows there already. I'm going to hit this mower on the floor, aren't I? Actually, it wasn't too bad. I thought it was going to be worse than that. If we go sideways, yeah, we've got the minerals to get it done. I might need to move that windrower though. Actually, I don't know why I brought that in here first. So, let's unfold that. Turn it on, do that, turn that on. And let's do this. I say this was not what I was anticipating doing. The problem I've got with this is that we might get grass going on the outside, in which case I might have to go along with the baler. Actually, you know what I need to do? I've just realised. What a buffoon. Go the other way. It's putting it out to the left, so do it to the left. If I do it to the left, it's putting it away from the fence, not towards it. What was I thinking? Try that again. There we go. So it's putting it away from the fence, going that way rather than towards. That's better. That's better. Kind of, maybe-ish. Yeah, we can sort those bits out that I made a mistake with. It happens. Gotta mind the cows. Be careful. Don't get, no, be careful. So, rinse, repeat. We'll see where we end up with regard to bales on here. And then what I'll do is I'll get the front loader on this, and it'll be a case of, yeah, gathering them up. And what I'll do is I'll probably just grab that, the one I'm going to use, and we'll just put the bales on the other side of the fence, and then we can worry about what we're going to feed to the cows and then what we're going to put into storage. And then, yeah, so that's going to be the next episode. I think what I'll do is finishing this episode will be seeing how many bales we end up with off of here, and then what should be the case then, if like I say, I'm just going on information received here. As we go into the next month, when this grass regrows, it should then pop up in the menu as meadow grass, and the cows should be able to eat it. Fingers crossed. So, mission complete. Well, almost complete. We got 10 bales off of our field, our cow field. This can be removed now because I shouldn't have to do that again. The meadow grass should grow back. Again, massive shout out to Nina and Omatana. We'll see how this pans out. So 10 bales off here. I cut some more grass over here, turned it into hay, baled that. I think we've got another 3 up there. I think it works out in total with our field over there, 35 hay bales at 8,000 litres, brings me at 280,000 litres of hay. It's short. I'm going to need some more, definitely need some more hay, but we can do more hay at some point. The windrow is going to go back, don't need that. We can always lease another windrow if we need to. Our hay making equipment can go back into storage. What I am going to do is, while we're here, I've got, because I had 10 bales there and I'm doing them in 3s, as you've already seen, this bale, hopefully. Now the problem is with this, I found it wasn't taking it, was it? If I lift it that way. Take it? Is it taking it? It is taking it. Yes. Sometimes I'm a genius. And that's the same with this. How many times have I said it now? It's only a silly idea. It's only stupid if it doesn't work. This worked. This was quite steep off the end, so it was just a case of giving myself a bit of a ramp so I wasn't hitting the 3-point, but it did the job. And I say, Nina did say to me that Omatana had used logs and stuff from the decorative items. I don't know if she used these ones or not, I don't know, but yeah, it did the job. That's the main thing. Right, so we've got some more hay in, hopefully, and we've got plenty of hay bales. So anyway, next episode I've got hay bales to clear up, we've got soil sampling to do, I've got to decide what I'm going to do about prep work on the fields. I've got to decide because we are going to move into... Actually, we might be in it now, aren't we? If we're into September... We're in planting season for barley and wheat. Do I go back in again, do barley and wheat, but then that means those fields are all locked in until next year's harvest, which means I can't put any other crops in them? Or do I wait until we... And this is the downside to seasons. Or do I wait until we get into spring? Because the problem, these aren't... Although they're being put in a September, October plant time, these aren't winter crops. What it should be is a winter crop now, plant now, harvest in March, with then a summer plant window of around that sort of time, harvesting in July, August sort of time, maybe June, July. But it's not, so I'm kind of torn. Do I just leave them? Just leave them fallow until we need to do something with them? Potentially, I think we need to do that. We'll see how we go. But anyway, I have got straw bales to collect. You might notice the money's gone down. That's because I've purchased something else. I do need to have a very frank, open and honest conversation with Walter. We'll see how we go with that. But anyway, so I'm going to gather some of these up and then we're going to gather up bales. Yeah, so we've got loads of stuff to do in the next episode. Like I said, this didn't pan out how I thought it was going to because of that situation. Actually, while we're here, let's go hairborne and we can start removing some of this stuff. We'll make half our money back on it, but that's fine because it wasn't mega expensive anyway. Oh yeah, I put extra ones in here because the ramp wasn't high enough. When I said I'd used 5 each side, I had originally, but it didn't quite work as I thought it would. So anyway, there we go. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then of course, please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.